While I'm not a fan of Dungeons & Dragons, and I've never played it, I am a fan of good Magic cards, and with the upcoming Commander Legends 2 set in the D&D world, one of the first cards that caught my attention is Tasha the Witch Queen. For 3 blue-black, you get a 4-starting loyalty Planeswalker that says whenever you cast a spell you don't own, create a 3/3 black demon creature token. Her +1 is draw a card, and for each opponent, exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from that player's graveyard and put a page counter on it. Her -3 is you can cast a spell that has a page counter exiled from the game without paying its mana cost. She can be your commander. That's a lot to unpack, but let's focus on the ways we can abuse the demon summoning trigger with Tasha at the helm of the deck. I'm a big fan of stealing my opponent's spells and beating them down with their own degeneracy. Her -3 gives herself the ability to cast your opponent's stuff, but it's slow and it only hits instants and sorceries. I want all the spells. Yes, I'm greedy. So let's get to the self-flagellation for our opponents. Every witch needs a little help, and Tasha is no exception. Rather than relying on her own abilities and only getting the instants and sorceries, let's enlist some minions to start stealing those spells. First we have Mind Leech Mass, Thief of Sanity, Silent Blade Oni, Night Veil Spectre, Fallen Shinobi, and Rexiel the Risen Deep. All these creatures either hit and exile spells for later use, or hit and allow you to cast something directly from their hand at the time of combat. The bonus is that we can possibly double dip on some of these spells cast from their hand if we have something to go after them later in the graveyard, but more on that down in the video. Also of note, Night Veil Spectre does not allow those spells to be cast off color, so you'll want mana rocks or lands that can produce lands of other colors to cast those spells. Next we have Gonti, Lord of Luxury, Kodase the Silent Spider, and Dothy Voidwalker. Gonti and Kodase have ETB triggers that allow you to go after a spell and cast it later. Gonti off the top of their deck and Kodase right out of their graveyard. Voidwalker can steal anything they cast, or even things you force them to cast from their hand, and use it against them as well. This is one of those double dips I mentioned earlier. If you force them to cast a spell with Mind Leech Mass, and it goes to their graveyard, and you have a Dothy Voidwalker out, you get to use the spell again if you wish. And finally we have Ashiok Nightmare Muse, the only Planeswalker I could find that could help you cast spells for free. If we can get to the -7, we're going to be able to fire off 3 spells and generate 3 demons along with whatever spells we're casting for free, so this can be a big game swing if you can pull it off. Now, let's delve into Tasha's spellbook and see what kind of sorceries, instants, and enchantments she has at her disposal to rob your opponents of their deck. The first group of cards we have is Covetous Urge, Psychic Intrusion, Siphon Insight, and King Narfi's Betrayal. These spells can steal cards right from their deck or hand and allow you to cast them later in the game, and in the case of King Narfi's Betrayal, some of those cards are going into the graveyard, allowing for some of your other spells to come back and nab them as well. We also have Rogue Class. This is going to grant all of your creatures, even if it's none of the ones I mentioned earlier in the video, the ability to exile cards one at a time from your opponent, but then you can play them later if you can manage to get up to level 3 on the class. The last card from the spell book, and probably one of the more powerful ones, is Mnemonic Betrayal. So you've been casting your opponent's things and they've managed to fight back and stop what you're doing, so what do? You cast them all again, of course. If they've managed to stop your shenanigans, but the graveyards are still stocked with all those spells you've already made them cast before, Mnemonic Betrayal allows you to grab several more of them and recast them and just keep on stealing. With this video, I only wanted to focus on things that would maximize Tasha's ability to generate value off of her demon summoning trigger, so I did not include Tasha's Hideous Laughter, her signature spell from Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, since it's not really helpful for the plan we're trying to do here. But if you want it for flavor reasons, since that is her signature spell, have fun and may your opponents collapse from all the giggles. So what do you think? Did I miss anything that we can use to push Tasha's demon summoning prowess to her full potential, or do you disagree with any of my choices here? Sound off in the comments below, and as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.